Hey chat, how are we today, ladies and gentlemen? Let's share the Twitter. Reading more creepypastas today, chat. I really enjoyed the last one, and I really want to learn more, so that's what we're going to do today. I can't wait. I can't wait to read to you guys more scary stories or just information about them. We've got quite a few today, so we get to learn quite a few. Okay, the list for today is Herobrine, which I did a stream. He is not real. I tried to summon him 2 days ago. Smile Dog, 1999, Pen Pal, Siren Head, and the Rake. We're going to start with Herobrine. I think most of you know about this one, so I'm just going to say about Herobrine and his story, where he began. But he turned into Herobrine. Steve Briggs is a 17-year-old boy who, after learning he has telekinetic powers, destroys his high school during revenge of his lifelong bully Thomas White. The attack caused Steve to lose control of his powers, and he became Herobrine, chat. He became Herobrine! The one we're all scared of. Oh, he's dead? Well, that's why... Okay. His mother, Anna, died when he was 3 years old. After the death of Anna, his father, Robert, became very protective over Steve, thus sheltering him, which caused Steve to be a target for bullies throughout his school life. It is mentioned in Herobrine Origins that Steve is a gifted and smart student. Steve's relationship with his Uncle Jack is a mystery to most viewers, with some thinking the two don't really get along due to Jack's very religious lifestyle. When Robert asks Steve what it's like living with Jack, Steve simply responds with, "He's alright, I guess," but we can also see that Jack cares very much for Steve. Huh. Interesting. Wait, there's loads of different rumours. Well, that was quick, I guess. We don't really need a big one for that. Smile Dog. This one scares the hell out of me, man. I don't like this one. I really don't. I hate it. I don't like... Don't show me a smile, please. Please don't. Smile Dog's story consists of a classic horror setup. An amateur writer... Oh, by the way, chat, I won't be reading you guys today. I'm not reading chat, so, I appreciate all the comments if you leave comments, but I won't read them today. Just because I'm going to try and read these. So it consists of a classic horror setup. An amateur writer visits the house of a lady who supposedly has a story for which he can borrow from. Rather than speak, however, the lady has locked herself up in her room, crying and ranting about nightmares and visions and various other problems. I've had a few nightmares. I had 2 nightmares last night. That is... I didn't like it. All of these centre around a floppy disk she had been given that contained the image smile.jpg, which is Smile Dog. Other cases of this have cropped up. Viewing this image incites insanity, and no copy of the exact image exists on the web for a likeness of it do. The true image of smile.jpg is recognised due to the effect it has on the viewer, and that is they wind up dead. Attaching a file that is spreading the word is the only way to save oneself from the smile.dog that appears in one's dreams, demanding to spread. I'm having nightmares at the minute. Please don't pop up in my stream. No, don't pop up in my streams either. But like, don't pop up in my dreams too. I don't need that. I've got a lot going on right now. Some say the original legend began with an image of the devil. I don't want to be here. I'm going to read more about this one. I first met in person with Mary E. in the summer of 2007. I had arranged for a husband of 15 years, Terence, to see her for an interview. Mary had initially agreed since I was not a newsman, but rather an amateur writer gathering information for a few early college assignments, and if all went according to plan, some pieces of fiction we scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated business, but at the last minute Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the couple's bedroom, refusing to meet with me. For half an hour I sat with Terence as we camped outside the bedroom door. As you do. I listening and taking notes while he attempted fruitlessly to calm his wife. The things Mary said made little sense but fit with the pattern I was expecting. Though I could not see her, I could tell from her voice that she was crying. And more often than not, her objections to speaking with me centered around an incoherent diatribe on her dreams, her nightmares. Terence apologized profusely when we ceased to exercise, and I did my best to take it in stride. Recalled that I wasn't a reporter in search of a story, but merely a curious young man in search of information besides it. I thought at the time I could perhaps find another similar case if I put my mind and resources to it. Mary was a sysop of small Chicago-based bulletin board system 1992. When she first encountered whatever, yeah, we learnt this, they wind up dead. In 2005, when I was only in 10th grade, Smile.jpg was first brought to my attention by my burgeoning interest in web-based phenomena. Mary was most often cited, I don't know, I can't read, victim of what is sometimes referred to as Smile.dog. That being, Smile.jpg is reputed to display what caught my interest other than the obvious macabre I don't know, elements of the cyber legend and my proclivity. What is it with the high vocab in this? Towards such things was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it even exists, or other than as a rumour or hoax. It is unique because though the entire phenomenon centres on a picture file, that file is nowhere to be found on the internet. Certainly many photo manipulated wow, okay. It's gonna be chat. Showing up the most frequently on sites such as image board for Cham, particularly the that scared the life out of me. I heard a child laughing outside and I thought there was someone right behind me. I panicked. I don't want to read this anymore. It is suspected these are fakes because they do not have the effect of the true JPEG or whatever to believe to have, which gave epilepsy and anxiety. Yeah, I just got anxiety then. Holy, I thought I was going to pass out through a heart attack. Not pass out, just die. Oh, hang on, I need to chill after that. That scared the life out of me. The purported reaction of view is one of the reasons the phantom-like Smile JPEG is regarded with such disdain. This is patiently absurd, though, depending on whom you ask. The reluctance to acknowledge his existence might be just as much out of fear as it is out of disbelief. I'm not reading that bit. Encounters with Smile.jpg are the stuff of internet legend. Mary E's story is not unique. There are unverified rumours of Smile.jpg showing up in the early days of Usenet, and even one persistent tale that in 2002 a hacker flooded the forums of humour and satire websites, something awful with the load of Smile.dog pictures, rendering almost half the forum's users at the time epileptic. It is also said that in the mid to late 90s, that Smile circulated on Usenet and as an attachment of a chain email with the subject line "Smile, God loves you." Yet despite the huge exposure these stunts would generate, there are very few people who admit to having experienced any of them, and no trace of the file or any link has ever been discovered. Those who claim to have seen it or so often weakly joke that they are far too busy to save a copy of the picture off their hard drive. However, all alleged victims of the same description of the photo, a dog-like creature like a Siberian husky. I love huskies, man. Now you're ruining them. Illuminated by the flash of the camera, sits in a dim room, the only background detail that is visible being a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but is usually described as beckoning. Of course, most attention is given to the dog. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly split in a wide grin, revealing 2 rows of very white, straight, very sharp, very human-looking teeth. Frozen into epileptic fits. Yeah, we read that. Nightmares. I now don't want to go to sleep tonight because I've been having nightmares. Chat, if I don't stream, well, I'm doing a stream tomorrow, so if I don't stream tomorrow night, actually I'm not going to say that, just in case if something pops up. I mean, I have Twitter, but I can't tell you guys, because in case you don't have Twitter, I can't say, hey, if I don't stream tomorrow, I'm dead. Yay. 1999. Wow, okay. Rabbit, what? I don't think that's what I'm meant to be looking at right now. Mr. Bear? Mr. Bear? Mr. Bear? Controversy. Thanks YouTube for telling me I'm live. I already knew that. I'm not reading this for 33 minutes. I'm sorry. He's fine. He's a teddy bear. Can't really find much about this one. We're gonna have to use our untrustworthy source, chat. Let's take this with a pinch of salt. Wikipedia. This is literally just a paragraph we're reading, because there's not much on this one. 1999 is a creepypasta that started as a blog by Camden Lamont, which has updated in real time. It tells the story of a Canadian man named Elliot who is investigating a mysterious public access channel called Canadian Local 21. The mascot of the channel is Mr. Bear, the star of the series. Mr. Wait, what? Where is it? I really can't find much about this. The show, which was a kids' television program, which is claimed to have shown on a public access station, was only available to a very small viewership in a tiny geographical area. There's not much we really need to know then, is there? Pen Pal is next. Okay. Oh, it's a novel. It's a book as well. That's a image and a half. There's not much about this either. There's not much I can find about it. Oh, here we go. Written on... This is a long read, so long. In fact, part was a... Oh. It's not that long, I don't think. Should I read that? Yeah, it's not that bad. We'll read it. This is long, so I apologise for that. I've never had to tell this story for enough detail to actually explain all the way, but it is true, and it happened when I was about 6 years old. In a quiet room, if you press your ear against a pillow, you can hear your heartbeat. As a kid, the muffled rhythmic beats sound like soft footsteps on the carpeted floor. So as a kid, almost every night, just as I was about to drift off to sleep, I would hear these footsteps and I would be ripped back to consciousness, terrified. For my entire childhood, I lived with my mother, a fairly nice neighbourhood that was in a transitional phase. People of lower economic means they were gradually moving in, and my mother and I were two of these people. We lived in the kind of house you see being transported in two pieces of the interstate, but my mum took good care of it. There were lots of woods surrounding the neighbourhood that I would play in and explore during the day, but at night, as things often do to a kid, they took on a more sinister feeling. This coupled with the fact that due to the nature of our house, there was a fairly large crawl space underneath, filled my mind with imaginary monsters and inescapable scenarios which would consume my thoughts when I was awoken by the footsteps. I told my mum about the footsteps and she said that I had just been imagining things. I persisted enough that she blasted my ears with water from a turkey blaster once just to placate me, since I thought that would help. Of course it didn't. Despite all the creepiness and footsteps, the only weird thing that ever happened was that every now and then I would wake up on the bottom bunk despite having gone to sleep on the top. But this wasn't really that weird, since I've sometimes just to get up to go to the toilet or get something to drink, and could remember just going to sleep on the bottom bunk. I'm an only child, so it didn't matter. This would happen once or twice a week, but waking up on the bottom bunk wasn't too terrifying. But one night I didn't wake up on the bottom bunk. I'd heard the footsteps, but was too far gone to be woken up by them, and when I was awoke, it wasn't from the sound of a footstep or a nightmare, but because I was cold, really cold. When I opened my eyes, I saw stars. I was in the woods. I sat up immediately and tried to figure out what was going on. I thought I was daydreaming, but that didn't seem right, though neither did me being in the woods. There was a deflated pool float right in front of me, one of those shaped like a shark. This only added to the surreal feeling, but after a while it seemed like I wasn't going to wake up because I wasn't asleep. I stood up to orient myself, but I didn't recognise these woods. I played in the woods by my house all the time, so I knew them really well. But if these weren't the same woods, then how could I get out? I took a step and felt a shooting pain in my foot, which knocked me back to where I'd just been laying. I stepped on a thorn. By the light of the moon, I could see that they were everywhere. I looked at my other foot, but it was fine, and as a matter of fact, so was the rest of me. I didn't have another scratch on me, but I wasn't even that dirty. I cried for a little bit and then stood back up. I didn't know which way to go, so I just picked direction. I resisted the urge to call out since I wasn't sure I wanted to be found or who or what might be out there. I walked for what seemed like hours. I tried to walk in a straight line, tried to course correct when I had to take detours. But I was a kid and I was afraid. There weren't any howls or screams, and only once did I hear any noise that scared me. It sounded like a crying baby. I think now that it was just a cat. But I panicked, and I ran veering in different directions to avoid big thicks of bushes and collapsed trees. And I was paying close attention to where I stepped because of what that point my feet were in pretty bad shape. I paid too much attention to where I was stepping and not enough to where those steps were leading, because not long after hearing the kid I saw something that filled me with a kind of despair. I haven't experienced this. It was the pool float. This taken a long time. I really just want to get into it. I was only 10 feet from where I'd woken up. This wasn't magic or some supernatural space, but what does this do with pen pal? Oh, so I've just read on, and we're basically reading for nothing. It's basically he writes a letter to someone, doesn't realise he wrote a letter. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how it ends. I'm gonna go back up just a little bit just to see if we're missing anything crucial. Don't think so. Hang on, chat. Having a nice drink, chat. How are we, chat? While I'm doing this, I've got two more, Siren Head and the Rake. I want to do the Rake first because I'm really intrigued. I've heard a lot about this one. The Rake Creepypasta. Okay, let's read this. What's this one? Okay, we'll read this. The Rake is a monster in the online horror fiction creepypasta depicted as unusually tall, hairless, pale, humanoid creature who generally crouches or crawls on all fours. He began as a collaborative project online creepypastas, as many do, whatever. The face is blank, as in no nose, no mouth. However, it has 3 solid green eyes, one in the middle of its forehead, and the other 2 on either side of its head, towards the back. Guys, I think he has eyes on the back of his head! Usually seen in front yards in suburban areas, usually just watches the observer, but will stand up and attack if approached. When it attacks, the mouth opens up as a hinged skull that opens at the chin, with many tiny but dull teeth. The character's spindly limbs low to the ground, lurking, and many teeth helped contribute to its name. In the fictitious origin story of the Rake, early sightings of the monster occurred as early as 2003 when he reported encounters with the curious, frightening creature ground cropping up in northeastern America before a media blackout and the subject apparently began. As a result, urban legend has it that there was little to no known information on the Rake until around 2006, when victims began collaborating to research the creature and discovering close to 24 documents with dates ranging across centuries, all describe similar encounters with the Rake. Some of the supposed artifacts include suicide note, trigger warning chat is going to talk about suicide and stuff, from 1964, a journal entry translated from the Spanish dated 1880, and a mariner's log from 1691. The most famous story of the Rake involves a woman waking up to find the bed sitting at the edge of her bed. Monster sitting on the edge of her bed. Characters are often said to creep into bedrooms, induce nightmares, and observe the dreamers for a time before killing them. Lovely. Quite frankly. There's really not else I can read. Yeah, these ones are really short today. I apologise for that. What am I doing tomorrow for stream? I'm doing something. I think I'm playing... Oh dear. I think I'm playing Cuphead again, chat. And that is definitely Spooktober, because that game gives me nightmares. I hate it. It's infuriating. Siren Head Creepypasta. Here we go. The last one. Is that story? I'm just finding some in chat. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. So it's also called Lamphead, which doesn't really seem that scary. He's a very aggressive, monstrous and skilled predator, which makes it very dangerous. It seems to have some degree of intelligence due to using tactics such as camouflaging within forests and mimicking sounds like voices to hide from and lure its prey. Other than that, though, Siren Head's ray of thinking that the unconfirmed theories suspect it's last of its kind, so it might have a strong will to survive. It's not about fooling people for their friends' voices, and one sighting of it suggests that it also blocks out the screams of its devoured victims with its own sounds, ensuring there is no chance anyone helped them. This is most likely to ensure a successful hunt by confusing and disorientating the prey, though it might also simply be a form of cruelty. Siren Head also sometimes does not consume its victims as seen in the Siren Head video game, meaning that it possibly kills for sport. Almost all images of Siren Head are presented very similarly to each other, featuring Siren Head as a tall, thin, desiccated and dehydrated humanoid with mummified skin and dual sirens on its head. Henson has all... Who's Henderson? Dustin? Wait, it is Dustin Henson, right? From Stranger... Yeah, I think so. As clever as Siren Head sirens have the ability of releasing various sounds out of them, such as conversations, white noises and extremely loud sounds which can damage hearing. Siren Head has been presented with different objects on its head depending on 2 known photographs. That's it. I'm really sorry this stream was really short. I didn't expect it to be. But if there was stories, all of them were really long. And I don't have that time today. But we learn about them. We got quite a bit done. I know a lot more now. But I really hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the Creepypasta streams. I probably won't do any more this month. Because I want to do other creepy streams for October, Spooktober. Got Instagram and TikTok content coming soon, which is also Halloween themed. But I'll see you then. Thanks for coming, guys. See ya.